Welcome back to This is VANCOLOUR. You may have heard of Mr. Deepfakes, a Toronto area pharmacist accused of running one of the largest deepfake porn websites. AI-generated videos that use real people's likeness, like their face, without consent, to create explicit content. Tens of thousands of videos, billions of views, and yet no criminal charges in Canada. Which raises a bigger question. Do you actually own your face? Here to discuss, my counterpart on the Soapbox Social panel, which you can find on CBC Radio's On the Coast with Gloria Makarenko. Representing Acumen Law, she is Kyla Lee, and this is Kyla's Court. So Kyla, we can all agree that what Mr. Deepfakes did was wrong, but when voyeurism is a crime in Canada, how come there have been no criminal charges laid on this, Toronto area pharmacist?
Unfortunately, our criminal law is really far behind where our technology is currently, and there aren't existing criminal code provisions in Canada that cover deepfake pornography. There have been promises by the federal government. In fact, there was a bill that was tabled but died on the order paper last session to try and make deepfake pornography without consent and the distribution of deepfake images a crime. We expect that the government is going to introduce that bill again, but as of right now, we're just lagging behind and hoping for the best.
So it's legal?
It's not legal, but it's legal in the sense that it's not explicitly prohibited.
Okay.
And it's not officially a crime to create deepfake pornography, but there are things that you can do. And there are provincial laws that prohibit it. There are provincial laws that address how it can be taken down and can cause people to be fined for it. There's also privacy laws in many of the provinces, and there are common law civil litigation avenues people can pursue as well.
Because here in BC, Attorney General Nikki Sharma has worked to make this process where you can have the material taken down and the sites get fined if they don't, right? And I know that's not criminal charges, but that is addressing some of the issues.
Yes. So in BC, we have the Intimate Images Protection Act, which covers both explicit images that are real as well as explicit deepfake images of any person. They don't even have to be identifiable by their face. And so long as there is some intimate area shown, the Civil Resolution Tribunal can order that they be removed and can order that the person who posted them compensate. And if sites refuse to remove them, then the sites can be ordered to have to pay money.
Okay, so setting aside pornography and explicit images, it's then also legal to make deep fakes of people doing unflattering or embarrassing things and posting that online?
I mean, so long as you're not doing it for a commercial purpose, it is legal in British Columbia to do that. In fact, I made a deep fake of you and I from our beach day last weekend that didn't happen.
Wow. Okay. Well, to be honest, I feel violated, but I'm actually very confused because do I not own, or do Canadians not own, the rights to their face? Because if you make, something that infringes a copyright or a trademark from Disney, they can go after you, at least in civil court, right? So how do Canadians not own their own likeness?
Well, we do own our likeness for commercial purposes. So if I were to take your likeness and use it to advertise something that I'm selling and I didn't have your consent, then you could sue me for using your likeness under BC's Privacy Act or just general civil damages. But if I were to just use your likeness for fun, then that is apparently just fine.
So what you're saying is if you took my face and made a bunch of t-shirts, you couldn't necessarily sell them, but you could distribute them for free.
Yes, I could distribute them for free, or I could, if the t-shirts advertised something, like if they advertised a product or my services as a lawyer, then I could be sued by you for that.
Oh, okay. So advertising would count as like a commercial thing.
Yes.
It's not just necessarily having to sell something.
Yes. And it doesn't matter either that you're a public figure. You still have those same likeness rights as a public figure as does any individual person.
It feels like Canadian law is really behind the AI dystopian world that we live in, right? Like, I feel like there's so much catch up and there's all these different moral questions that have to be addressed in the law. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. And one of the problems is that our legal system moves slowly, not only because it takes time to draft laws, debate laws, pass laws, and then have constitutional challenges to those laws. By the time that actually happens, the law is way behind where the technology is because the technology is advancing at such a rapid pace. We're constantly playing catch up to where the technology is.
And then there's a new thing using my likeness or violating my privacy, right?
Yeah, and it's not just me spreading those deepfake images of you online.
Please don't post that on Twitter. Kyla, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Folks, thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Justin McElroy, Guy Felicella, and cool Kyla Lee for tonight's program. If you have a t-shirt design with my face on it, please email me the proof first, mo@thisisvancolour.com, or just tell me what you thought about tonight's show. You can also find me on all the socials @VanColor. Until next week, stay colorful. Peace.